Okay guys, we're back again with the second player to review. And this is Phil Foden. This is how I've leveled him. Luckily enough, I was able to pack him twice. Because I packed him in the first 900 coins, and then I reset the box, and literally 20 spins or two 900 coin spins again, I got him and VVD in the same pack. So it was a 2-pack walkout. I'm just gonna show you. Actually, I won't show you this. Actually, you know what? I will show you this. I'll show you the walkout. So as you can see, the first 900 coins, as you can see, boom. We got Phil Foden in the first 900 coins. Just gonna skip through this because, yeah, we got Phil Foden in the first 900 coins. So I reset the box, as you see here. I reset the box. And, yep. So what I did after resetting the box was literally, yeah, so literally, I believe that, so 3 900 coin spins, then we got 2 in the same pack. We got Virgil van Dijk, and we got Foden again. So I was able to get 2. So I now have 2 Fodens. One has higher offensive awareness than the other one. So I'm gonna show you that now. So this is the one I'm currently using. I have 3 skills on him. I have cut behind and turn, knuckle shot, dipping shot. I am missing acrobatic finishing and fighting spirit. But you can take off the knuckle shot and dipping shot if you don't want. But I think I just added, I might tell you, I'm going to take off the knuckle because I think if you have knuckle shot and rising shot, they cancel out. So only one gets picked. I think rising shot takes priority over knuckle shot. I'm not sure. I have no idea, unless like I'm supposed to put them more power. I think rising shot, knuckle shot is probably half, I think. And then rising shot is like basically 90% of the bar, I think. I'm not sure, but I do want to, so on the second build, so actually on this build, I'm going to put, so cut behind, knuckle shot, dipping shot, fighting spirit, and acrobatic finishing. And then on this one here, I went one more, actually we can just compare the two actually. We're just going to compare the two. I went, so the one I'm currently using now, the one that the clips you're going to see, I have 3 more offensive awareness, 1 more ball control dribbling, 1 less passing. I have 2 less finishing. I have 2 less curl, 2 more acceleration, and less physical contact. So what I did was, for the one in the video, I'll just show you how I leveled him. I went 6 in shooting, 7 in passing, 9 in dribbling, 10 in dexterity, 8 in lower body, 1 in aerial, and 4 in defending. I went 4 in defending just to get the aggression up to at least 69, so that with the form arrow it would go to 70. Because really and truly, you're only playing these kind of cards if they're in form anyway, based on the bench you have. You know, you might have some proper cards on the bench, so you pit them over them. So it made sense to just get it to 70 aggression. And you'll see why in some of the clips. So yeah, I played 22 games with him, and I played exactly 20 games in AMF and SS. But then, see, this is why I have 2 of them, because I already know what his best position is as a whole player in this game. I know what the best positions for whole players are. So I already knew what he was like, what he's going to be like when he's in the right position. But for the sake of this video, we tried him in AMF and SS. And my conclusion is, I feel like he's wasted as an AMF because he's I'll show you some clips anyway, but he makes runs into space as AMF, and the spaces tend to be central, kind of, and as an AMF, he tends to drop deep to receive the ball instead of being on the end of it. So there are situations where I want to counter attack, and as AMF, he decides to ask for the ball short, so he drives with the ball from midfield all the way to strike, which is fine. But I felt like in order to really utilize this Foden, you want him to be a touch and go kind of player. So AMF and SS didn't really work for me. It might work for others. But yeah, I have seen some builds where people had 90 speed, 90 acceleration, 90 offensive awareness, blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, as a whole player, it doesn't really matter because even if you have 90 speed, if you play him AMF, he's still going to drop deep to receive the ball. Even if you put counter target on him, he'll still like want the ball to feed instead of running behind. As an SS, he makes runs in behind, further up the pitch. But then what's the point of 90 speed if he's already up the pitch, if that makes sense? So it didn't make sense to give him that much speed, in my opinion. So, yeah. So I think for me, the best place to play Foden is right mid. I think if you have whole players who are wide players, so people like Leao, and so on and so on. I think Doku as well is a whole player. The team of the week. I think the best place to play them is literally left mid and right mid. I'll show you why as well. But yeah, so we played him in AMF. In 20 games, he didn't get a single goal. I think he got one goal, but it was more like a rebound. And then we had some assists. But in right mid, as a whole player, what happens is right mids, they can either go this way or sometimes they drift in here. And this is where you want him for the blitz curler, right? You want him here. So I felt as a right mid, he was more in positions for the blitz curling, or he was available for the cross out wide, is into space. So yeah, I'm just going to show you some clips of him in AMF and then RMF. So I think I don't have that many clips in R and AMF. The goals he scored were mainly in right mid, but we do have a clip here. I think, yeah, this is when we played Foden in AMF. So as you can see, this is exactly what I'm talking about. In AMF, can you see where he is? He drops deep. So he's carrying the ball up the pitch. So he was never really in a position to blitz curl. Like now I could have, but he was always pressed. As you can see, he does create opportunities for other players, but I wanted him to feel like a classic 10 / like a touch and go player. So AMF was too chaotic for me to use him really. And then so this is what he looked like when we played him in right mid.
That pass isn't the best. They've got to make this nice and quick.
So as you can see, so this is when we played him in AMF, right? We played him in AMF, but he luckily he was on the right side this time, so we were able to get a blitz curler as an AMF. But this was very rare. He was rarely in positions. He was just in positions where space was. So if you played against a guy who had let's just go back in this clip so you can see what I mean. So as a whole player in AMF, he just attacks he just goes into space. So you can see, because Bernardo Silva is deep and Foden is now high up, so Foden runs into space when the ball goes out wide. And then now, Bernardo gives overlap, so there's plenty of space out wide. But because he's trying to focus on Bernardo overlap, he gave me space to initiate the blitz curler, which went top bins. But normally a good opponent will never ever leave that space open. So in AMF against the good players, it was a waste of space in my opinion. So we used him in a right mid. So this is an example of a right mid. Yeah. So as you can see, as right mid, he's always free on the wide area, so you can still find him out wide, and he's still able to be useful as a wide midfielder. I think we have another clip. Oh, this one. Yeah. So let's go to this one actually. So in this clip here, as you can see, look at where Foden is. He's a right mid in this clip. And as a right mid, as a whole player, they move freely around the pitch. So you see how he started in the middle? You can see he drift in the middle. But then as we get the ball, he drifts out wide into space and makes runs into space as a wide midfielder. Can you see? Look how much space he has as a wide midfielder. He's unmarked. So he's very useful out wide in my opinion. And then we get a goal. And this is another clip of why I play him out wide. As you can see, by the way, this opponent was playing Foden as a SS. He was playing Foden as an SS, but you can still see his Foden drift like a right. Like it wasn't making sense in my opinion. He was carrying the ball instead of being a 1-2 kind of person. So his Foden wasn't useful as a SS. As you can see, mine is in different pockets of space. He's a right mid here, but he's drifted into cam. Can you see? He's still drifted into cam, but he's a right mid and we're able to create. So as a right mid, he's able to still drift into space as a cam, but at the same time be a right mid. So it was definitely more useful for me to play as a right mid. So as you can see here again, he's now a right mid. And then he still comes back to defend as well. I think I prefer it like that. But you see, he's now in the middle of the pitch. And then he goes out wide, and then look, can you see? And then when we get the ball, look, he's delayed, but Bernardo Silva and everyone else is making a run. Now look how quick he is to get up here. Look at him, he's already here. And look what he does. He provides an overlap as a right mid / cam. He's in between that channel as a right mid / cam. And that's why I play him right mid, because he can basically, and look at him, free. As a right mid now, he's free, no one's marking him. Runs into that space, that channel. Again, does it again, into that space. Again, you can see, building up. He's more involved as a right mid than a AMF in my opinion. And then while anyone's out of position, he covers that position in a DM, so he drops into center mid as well, as you can see, and then still at the same time goes back up top to right mid. So as a right mid whole player, he's playing basically 4 positions, and we're able to score here as well. So you can see, look at where he started from. So as you can see, let's start from here. Look at where he started from. He started from center mid. Started from center mid all the way into right mid, right wing. And he provides, you know what I'm saying? Nice. Now Vieira is marking him. Vieira, who is a CDM, is marking a right mid. You know what I mean? Interesting. So I had more fun playing him in right mid than SS or AMF. And in this clip, I'll show you why I hated playing him in AMF. Because as you see in AMF, he wasn't really giving me options unless I switched wings. Look at where he is. AMF. I need him to be forward. So he wasn't really doing it for me in AMF. I should have scored that, but. And then he drops back. If you play AMF, you have to accept the fact that in order to build up, you have to start with him. You have to build up with him. So I'm just gonna skip past this. We get the ball back somewhere, and as you can see, look at him in AMF. And AMF is hard as a whole player because you are tightly marked. But when the ball goes forward, do you see? He's making predictable runs as an AMF, in my opinion. The runs are very. There's no complexity with his runs compared to when he was a right mid. So we get the ball again, and look at where he is. He's in right mid, and then he goes into cam. But every time we start the attack, he's always late. So it was very weird in my opinion. Let's see if I can find another clip. Right, so in this clip, he cam. See, he gets him behind. It's great. And this was like one of the 2 times. So really and truly, to play him cam, the only way to actually enjoy him is to kick the ball out wide to your wide midfielder, and then hopefully he just makes a run in behind. But his runs were just very linear. Like if you had a player marking him, he would not receive the pass for a through ball. And some of you know the through ball I'm talking about. When you pass it down the channel and it gets intercepted anyway, it's like on rails. And as a whole player in cam, you're always in that position for on rail passes. So I ended up preferring him in right mid. So yeah, I'd say as an AMF for sure, and SS, I'd give him like a 6.5 in my opinion. But as a right mid, for me, he goes straight up to an 8.5, because then as a right mid as well, you're in a position to blitz curl more often, because you have to understand, as a right mid, he runs into space as like a right winger, like a cam, like a center mid as well. So he's always an option to blitz curl on anywhere on the right side of the pitch. So as long as he's on the right side of the pitch, as a right mid, he will drop into a right center mid, a right wing, or a right midfielder. So I definitely had more fun as a right midfielder. I think as a right midfielder, I definitely rate him as a 8.5 in my opinion. Definitely one of the best whole players as a right mid in my opinion. Now, if you do use this build, the one that's got 93 finishing, 1 more passing, and I think more physical contact, I'd highly recommend acrobatic finishing. What else? Acrobatic finishing, outside curler for sure. What else? Pinpoint crossing, and what else did I have on the other one? And cut behind and turns. Cut behind and turn of Foden's a must. Like, I don't care what you cut behind turns a must, and then obviously soul control as well would be nice. But definitely recommend cut behind and turn, acrobatic finishing. As a right mid, pinpoint crossing is nice as well. Outside curler, as I mentioned. I think I mentioned acrobatic and probably soul control if you want, but I don't think soul control is necessary on a whole player, because whole players make runs where they attack the space, and if they're making runs, you're not going to have time to knock on. But as a prolific winger, creative playmaker, and like a revving flank, your players come short, so you have time to knock on. But I think if you're a blitz curler, I don't think you need soul control, especially whole players, because they just run in behind, so you're never in a position to knock it back on. So yeah, that's what I definitely recommend. But I think as a right mid, he's definitely an 8.5 5 as a right mid, in my opinion. As a cam SS, I think he's average. I think as a cam SS, he's just like any other midfielder and SS whole player. As a right winger, the place I was inactive, so it could work. But I think for me, the best place to play him is right mid, in my opinion. Yeah. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Peace.